Would be helpful if I turned my controller on. Get that game bar out of my face. Alright. Honestly, I don't know what this be easier on. I just feel like in terms of attacks, the final would be better. Could sit there and try and farm the boss. So try and get some early potential blocks. I didn't mean to automatically select that. Take the riot needle. Dude, come on. Anything that increases shield. Nope. I'm just taking whatever I want. Lifesteal would be pretty good. Dude, where is block? Everything but block. There. Why am I being trolled? I'm playing the block character. Could I get block? Be really helpful. Dude, what are we doing? should just start diving in and taking as many blocks as I can. So the rate it's going, I don't know even if I do manage to get my block rolls if I can really use them. Like, what is this? What is this? Takes like a life because I am trying to, you know, get damage, so might not be a bad idea. I actually didn't want to reroll that. Finally, some more block. Okay, the eye round is really good for being hit. This is probably going to be my best time to try and farm this. If I get overwhelmed, I can just dash out and pop my shield. That's also why I took second life. Just in case this does go south, I can, you know, get revived. 'Cause even with all these blocks, I don't think we're getting too high up of where I want to be. Take some more range. More move speed. I've never taken this, so that's Treasure Hunter 3. Equip all the 45 different weapons and abilities. Which means now I have the 2 devotions to max out and Riposte to unlock, and then this game's been 100%ed. Kind of a shame, because I really do enjoy this game. This is the first Vampire Survivor clone in a while to like actually be fun for the sake of being fun. Meta builds in this game aren't needed, but when you do meta, you're allowed to meta build still. And dude, it's great to watch them pop off. This game succeeds at just being fun. Like, I love other ones like this, but they all fall short somewhere. More move speed so I can close the gap on these guys a lot faster. This is what we need. I need these stones. The stones will give me way more block. Okay. Mini eye round, which is gonna help a lot. I have a feeling I'm not even, like, at 200 dodges right now. I'd be lucky to be even at 150, which is a really bad thing. Get as much XP as I can right here. Let's go for regen. I'll take Shadow Dancer purely for... I don't want to kill these guys too easily. Attacking speed being like a passive gain could really hurt this, and I'll start killing them too fast. Same with close range brawler. I will just start killing the things I want to be close faster than I want to. So having one that I might not use, for now at least, is definitely a lot better. Can I check how close I am? No. I have 77% block though. That's nice. I have a few more rounds. I should be able to stall on Bloodfang before I, you know, actually kill him. Alright. Little low, little low. I don't want to waste my free life yet. Let's take more health. More lifesteal. Maybe I should just stand still for now. I don't know if... Okay, yeah. Standing still just kind of seems lessen the amount of blocks I'm getting. I think it's because moving around messes up my character's targeting. No. Yeah, moving around messes up my character's targeting. which means the people that I would normally want to be, like, killing with maximum effort are not dying, which is what I want. I want as many enemies as I can possibly get. I mean, look at the amount of blocks that I get. It's just, I've yet to get 300 blocks proc. Either it's gonna wait till the very end screen for it to happen, which it very may well. It typically does, when I think about it. But it's like, I don't know when 300 is hit. I kind of can't count it, because there's a little bit happening on the screen. I'd really like to see what 100% block would do. Because there's a chance that, you know, most games have a soft cap that they don't tell you about. Even if you hit 100% chance, that doesn't mean you're doing 100% chance. It's a few more levels. More speed, I guess. I mean, look at all those blocks just going off. I swear, I've gotten like a good 20 right in that just small pile. I should be getting my 300 blocks. I'm gonna be so disappointed if I don't. This is also why I have lifesteal. Because, you know, I need to still be able to live. Kill off some of these guys. More speed. There's that more block I'm looking for. I'm at what? 85%? 15% more and I could be at guaranteed block. It's a shame I had to, you know, trash all of my reroll stones to get here, and honestly, they didn't really help all that much. But it's the price you have to pay. A really fun combo that I accidentally got. It basically gives you infinite barrage. I think I got it on Sidewinder. Let's see. I don't really care about not taking any of this. Knockback could be pretty hurtful though, and Gravity Well is also pretty hurtful, so do this. I mean, there's no way I haven't hit 300. But at the same time, I've done this before and not hit 300, so I could very well, you know, still be drowning. I honestly just want to see what fragmentation would look like on the lands. Imagine I've like hit like nearly 1,000 dodges. I'm sure it's not that much. I'd be lucky if I am hitting 300. I'd be lucky to say, see 500. Very happy about getting one of these rotations. Like, killing power? I don't really have it. But just being able to live? Oh no, I got that. Guess I'll go for attack speed. Oh man, that's a shame. I was really hoping to see what fragmentation looked like. Okay, I did get my 300. Where's the stat to show how many times... Excuse me? I avoided 2.5k? Okay. Well, I did get it, and, you know, I was a little wrong on the end number by almost 2,100. Only rank A is pathetic, though. You could... Well, why only rank A? Is because of all the damage I took? That's a really... That's a really beautiful stat to look at, though. 2.5k. I wish I could see specifically block and dodge. Let's see. It's probably because I didn't do too much damage, honestly. Only 87, though, is strange. 87 and I got this much. Okay, so that is... It's only these two? What does Riposte do? I assume whether... My guess of the ability is if you block or dodge an attack, you either deal a percentage of that damage back, or you have a chance to do the exact same damage they did to you back. It would be resonance? No. Protocols? Yes. What does Repose even look like? Here. After blocking or dodging, gain a stacking damage buff. Oh. Yeah, that's good. Alright. What do I want to do a run as now? Honestly? Gotta remind myself on the beauty of Bloodfang. I'm gonna get nothing that I want for Bloodfang. If I don't get Riot Needle off rip, I reset. Riot Needle needs to be there. Do you know what this color that I have for him in the top of his head reminds me of the gems from Spyro? I have 3 free rerolls? What even affects, like, what determines how many rerolls someone gets for free? Let's go for Crit Strike. Ardent Lance, not what I want. Not what I want. Still not what I want. There we go. I think I'll only take Riposte for this character if I see, what would I need to see? Double Dash. I need to see Double Dash to, be convinced. Attack speed. You can't go wrong with getting Fragmentation on your starting weapon, because it's technically 2 weapons. They both shoot their own bullets. So you get Fragmentation, what, adds 4 more shots, so you get 10 shots total from 1 weapon. However, Riot Needle has the Frenzy effect. When the Frenzy effect happens, you get a additional attack speed buff. So if you have a bunch of different bullets, all firing, that have a chance to proc Frenzy, you just keep proccing Frenzy. See, this is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't hate taking Riposte, but I take it as my second one, not my first one. However, honestly, none of these are all that good. So I'll take Riposte, why not? 5%. How long could I expect this 5% to stay? Okay. That's actually a good bit. The only issue is I kind of don't have the dodge speed right now. I want potency more than anything. Always gotta take restore HP on reload. On a character that shoots as fast as Crimson, you have to. If I get... Blood Temple is really good. Like, disgustingly good. It can be used to get 2, achievements. 10% life, while the boss is, it's good to kill a boss while you're below 10% max health, because you can just proc it, like, right before you kill the boss. Missile Circus is really good. But I don't know if I have... I'm gonna take it. Barrage is funny, but Missile Circus, if I can get the critical strikes, have a chance to give special attacks, I can infinitely shoot Missile Circus. And it is funny. Because it has one of the... Besides Blood Temple, and maybe a few others, it has one of the faster activation times. Because the second you fire it off, you can just fire it off again. So, when you are infinitely creating special attacks, you can just infinitely fire Missile Circus in a short period of time. Do need to be careful though. Let's take a crit. Normally I would like to focus just one weapon on Bloodfang, but when they're gonna offer a super gem like that, I have to take it. It just passing up on those ones is just not worth. It's not worth the pass up. Gotta take more crit. Take physical. I have a chance at 2 more shell protocols, so for now I could take one of these. I don't really care for any of these ones though. This, okay, see? Now Riposte is gonna be even better. Using just, I missed that dodge. I missed that one too. Come on, guys. Yeah, look at that. I'm stacking this damage buff way faster than I ever would have without it. And it kind of seems like it won't drop down unless I don't, like, keep ticking it up. Which is broken. Let's go for more physical. Let's go for more dodge. And then... This is a joke, but I won't be taking it. Fragmentation is a little bit more important for me right now. So we're gonna go for Crit Strike. I'm really hoping I see the crits have a chance to give special. Because it is such a funny combo to watch. I really do think Bloodfang is like one of the best characters in this game. Purely because attack speed, just passively stacking on you, is busted. The weapons he's allowed to get, compared to the rest of the characters, is busted. Let's go for some more dodge. more dodge, a little bit of more as well. None of these are bad. However, multiple riot needles is really good. Yeah, see how I get 2 activations of Frenzy now? I have 118 dodge right now? That's nice. A little more range. And... what is even the potency effect on my duets? Shatter. Isn't that... bullets on hit have a chance to explode and hit enemies around it? Wrong thing. It's potency effects. Chance for attacks to deal AoE damage on impact, yeah. So, potency is pretty good. And now I get... look at that. I'm telling you, if I get crit chance, it's going to be hilarious. Should be coming up on my next shell protocol soon. Lethal Strikes is really good. It's not what I'm looking for. Really hoping I was gonna see it. I still have one chance to get it. I'm really hoping I get it. It's so fun to watch. Especially on this character. because the amount of rockets you shoot out, I'm pretty sure is based off attack speed. So if I'm doing my spin dash, while I have 2 frenzies procced, I just get to shoot way more rockets than they intend. At least I think Missile Circus is the one that does that. It might be a different one. Or chance. Let's take Potency. Potency affects weapons like standard abilities. So 10% increased potency means there's a 10% more chance that Frenzy will proc. Potency does not affect Resonance, because Resonance is a, like... Actually, Potency might affect Resonance. I just know its entire purpose is for, like, the standard gun effect. Oh, I need to think about where I'm going. I'm taking hits that I really don't need to be doing. Honestly, the issue is all these guys are just constantly getting in my way. There we go. Please, please, give me the shell protocol. Well, that sucks. I was really hoping for it. They really love giving me the Ruby. I guess it makes sense. Ruby is kind of designed for this character. I had to think about it. Have I ever seen like one of those big gems not associated with a character? I can't wait to see what else this game dev has in store. Because as far as I know, we aren't going to see too much more from this game. This is mainly just like a demo of his skill. And I appreciate it. This game's really good. Which is why I can't wait to see whatever he's got in store for like a game that he's got a lot more time to put into. Because you can definitely tell this is here just to test the waters. Ooh. Taking damage. Oh, see, okay. So you can get them. Full fragmentation. Honestly, I haven't built much, like, for damage. So I have all this attack speed, but I don't really have, like... I'm basically throwing pebbles at him. I also don't think it probably doesn't help that I really don't have too much, like, range. I have been kind of neglecting it. Alright. Hey, rank. What do you mean I avoided 238 attacks? I actually kind of hate that I got that close. Only to level 9. Alright. Means I go through the characters. I'm elemental, correct? Yes. Honestly, I should have rerolled till I got the Sun Shard. Why is it all force? I really love the music in this game. Was Balloon Blitz supposed to be, like, getting more announcements this month? I think I remember seeing something about that. Ninja Kiwi usually makes good stuff, so I imagine their Vampire Survivor clone won't be too bad. There's Elemental. Only took long enough. What does this look like? Ah, that's right, it's Tesla coil. Hmm. I definitely don't feel like this Tesla field is that good. It's still early game, so it could change. You know, a game I have to play at some point. I gotta, like, try Ultra Kill at some point. It seems fun. Let's go for more max HP, why not? Soul River. Can I get Sun Shard? Yeah, that's really cool. Can I get the Sun Shard? Alright, I'm seeing it. The Sun Shard. Flame Buffet. Buffet works as well. It is the effect I want. Okay, I think you know what? I might have been a little harsh on Static Discharge. I have figured its value out now. I didn't know how it worked. You know what? That's my bad for judging it without seeing the full picture. Oh yeah, I 100% of Resident Evil 9. It didn't take too long, honestly. And I kind of feared that it wouldn't. It was a fun game. It really was. When it comes to a first-time experience, I think that game has a better first-time experience than I've had than most Resident Evil games. However, a downside that I kind of value a little more is replayability. And that game just doesn't feel that replayable for me. Like, I could go boot up Resident Evil 4 OG and Remake right now. Play on Professional and have the best time of my life. I could go boot up Resident Evil 1 HD and run Survivor mode and have a lot of fun. I could do the same thing to 2 with the headshot, no items mod. I could do the same... Hell, I actually really enjoyed a boot up 5. I enjoyed 5 a lot more than I remember that I did. Because when 5 first came out, I hated it. I hated 5. Resident Evil 6, oh, I love Resident Evil 6 when that came out. How does that work? I don't know. I truly do not know. But on the 360, that was the game you played. And it was fun. Replaying it now, it's not all that fun. But 5? No, 5 is still good. The AI in the main story. Sheva actually is not a bad companion. Her AI, tries to help. Now, we're talking about the 2 mini DLCs. I don't know what they did to the AI. They suck. What's the name of the commander that, Sheva used to be under? His AI is garbage. And she just stares there. Dying. Forcing you to go help her. I'm also not too happy on Resident Evil 9's, some of the story things they've done. I think the game kind of suffers from a little bit of this, a little bit of everything, but not much of anything. I understand we are back in Raccoon City, but at the same time, I'll admit, I got nostalgia baited. I really did. I thought we would be, in the meat of Raccoon City, I thought that's what we were gonna do. I thought RPD would play a bigger part instead of just being a 5-minute little cameo. I appreciate the 5-minute cameo, but the game and trailers kind of made me believe that I'd be there longer. Same with the orphanage. Though to be fair, there isn't really too much to do in the orphanage, and even in the base game. But it's I thought we'd go, through the ruins that Jill and, Carlos went through. But then you have to remember, they completely retconned all that in Resident Evil 3 remake. So, of course we're not going to go through all that stuff. And it really sucks. But not only that, Hunk, whether Hunk is a clone or not, I don't know. But it's very obvious it is meant to be a form of Hunk. Because you're telling me the game that has a Wesker clone, a Plant 43, Lickers are back, Mr. X is back, we visit RPD, we go back to Raccoon City, we see the orphanage again, you're telling me a game, and something I didn't pick up on, and to be fair, of course I wouldn't pick up on it, I never played that game. I heard, one thing about it. Alicia Ashcroft is from Resident Evil. She was in Outbreak. She was one of the people you could play as. Why would I know that? I wouldn't. Oh, why? Man, no, never mind. That's Flurry. I will take Flurry, though. It's why would I know that? It's Outbreak is one of those games that it's kind of hard to play because, as far as I remember, it's a multiplayer game, is it not? Though, at the same time, I prefer when the spin-offs are multiplayer games. I think that's what a spin-off should be. It's something that maybe you can get your friend who is kind of iffy on Resident Evil. They might not like it all that much. They might like themes, but they don't really care too much about the story. And a spin-off that has multiplayer is perfect. A mainline game that has forced multiplayer, though, is stupid. It really is. Resident Evil 5 was, bearable solo. It was. It was bearable. 6 is torture solo. It's so unfun. Revelations 1, it's okay, that game was purposely designed to be a co-op game. So of course single player isn't all that good. But it's Resident Evil 6, it's dude, this is a mainline game furthering the story that is actually going to be referenced and talked about in the next game. Why am I being forced to play a multiplayer game? It'd be one thing if they made a solo game that gets buffed when playing co-op. Which is what blows my mind, that a modder who created seamless co-op for Elden Ring, and I'm pretty sure he's done some of it. Either he has done it, or other people got the idea to do it for the other Souls games. But they do it right. They take a solo game and build it up to accommodate 2 players. The issue with Resident Evil 6 and some of 5 is it is a co-op game for 2 people. And they downgrade it, not that well, for 1 player. They don't accommodate single player, which is bad. It's bad. I think with games like that, you need to build single player first. Once you have single player done and know what single player can do, you buff things for 2 people. That way, single people who are not going to be playing with a friend, because their friends don't care about Resident Evil, why would they get this game that they don't care about? And like, playing with randoms was fun on 5, I will admit. It was really fun. I enjoyed myself playing with randoms. But it's like Resident Evil 6, even on the 360, I remember playing with random could be a super fun and enjoyable experience, or it's just my teammates down, my teammates down, my teammates down. And it's no fault of their own. They also got pushed into a multiplayer game that they were kind of hoping was single player. And the single player is so unbearable, he was hoping that someone better than them could come along and help them. Unfortunately, if I'm on the end of the person who's supposed to be the better player, it doesn't work for me. I'm not supposed to be the better player. It's like a single player game, maybe I'm the better player. Maybe. If you compare me to, like, people who have never... They like, get on a game and you swear they've never seen anything outside of, like... They've stared at a jar that has nothing but air in it. And they just can't, like, grasp how to work a game. Sure, I'm better than them at a game. 100%. But multiplayer? Don't rope me in multiplayer. I'm one of the worst people you can possibly get in multiplayer. I confidently would say I'm top 50 worst Dead by Daylight players. Easily. I know a lot about the game. When it comes to playing it, though, I'm not good at it. Sure, I've hit Iridescent 1 ranked in old Dead by Daylight before, you know, when it used to be a rank and not a, monthly... What would you even call it right now? It's not a rank. Badge? Nah, it's not a badge either. You don't get anything. I don't know what you'd call it. But I used to do it when it was ranked and not just some monthly thing. Even recently I hit Iridescent 1 on Survivor. But it's like, it doesn't take any skill to hit Iridescent 1 on Survivor nowadays. Or even Killer for that matter. It's not the same. I would say it's a lot easier to do nowadays than it was when it first came out. I miss when there used to be ranked. Because, first of all, hidden MMR is stupid. Every game with a hidden MMR is stupid. Tell me a number. If you tell me a number, and I see that the people I am playing with or against are similar number, then I can look at myself and go, okay, I'm with these people because I'm supposed to be with these people, and it makes sense on why we're playing like this. But if I have to go look at my team and see that somehow there's people who are less than me in a multiplayer game, and I'm playing against someone who is top 100 easily, that's a little bullshit. Because I can hold a number that is displayed to me, I can hold that for what it's worth. Hidden MMR is just, hey, you have to trust us that we aren't lying to you, and it works. Here's the thing. They are lying to you. It doesn't work. Because there are times that I will be put against a killer that shouldn't be put against us. Whether they're better or worse. And when a really good killer gets put against me, I'm typically fine with it. Because I love playing against good killers. Watching a, like, amazing Huntress play Dead by Daylight is so fun. Playing against her, watching her hit her, like, frost mats, it is an amazing experience. I love watching someone who's really good at the gameplay. But watching a Deathslinger whose second match on is me, someone who at least knows how to play the game well enough, and my teammates who are flashlight spamming, it's like, that's not fair to them. That's just not fair. They shouldn't have to go through this experience. And guess what they're gonna get from this experience? Oh, well, I should just start, you know, tunneling. Why improve when I can just play cheap? And that sucks, because then it ruins another survivor who's also on their second match, and they're gonna have to deal with that. And then they're gonna do that to the killers, and it just keeps spiraling. I hate it. I really do. I hate hidden MMR. I will always hate hidden MMR. Also, I got all the way from Resident Evil 9 and about its replayability to Dead by Daylight. I shouldn't be surprised. Back to Resident Evil 9's replayability, it's a good game. I enjoy it. $70? I wouldn't really say that $70 is a good price tag for it, honestly. I'd say maximum $50. $50 is a great price for it. I also think... Ooh. What's this look like? Oh, that actually does a good bit of damage. I need to not stand too close to him, though. That is how I just get myself killed in a dumb way. Ooh, it is storming. I killed him? Oh, I didn't want to get off that screen that fast. Alright, one last achievement. And it is max this out. But for me, Resident Evil 7 Madhouse is replayable for me. Base game Resident Evil, it's whatever. Madhouse... Fuck. Madhouse, fucking hell. What was that? Resident Evil 7 Madhouse is amazing. And that's why it really disappoints me that we went from Madhouse to Village of Shadows. Village of Shadows sucks. Now, here's the thing. Village of Shadows is what I would call a New Game Plus difficulty. Its entire purpose is to be played on New Game Plus. And that's not a bad thing. The issue is, playing it not on New Game Plus is insufferable. It's awful. But Resident Evil 8 Village, it's really replayable. It's really replayable. Fucking hell, it's still... Now, I don't think Resident Evil 8 is a better first experience than 9. 9 is a better game than 8 is. But 9 is not as replayable as 8 is. So, it ends up being that 8 is better. Who am I playing it again? That's right, Robot Guy. God damn, my throat is just dry. What's my elemental? Alright, we could go one elemental and... Actually, no. Can I get an explosive weapon? Alright, I'll take Ice Rifle. I was really hoping for one of the rockets. But I enjoy Resident Evil 8. Horror game, it's got one horror section, it's the dollhouse. The dollhouse was pretty good. It was very good. But after it's over, it's over. There's not much to say about the horror of that game. I'd never played the DLC. I refuse to spend money on that DLC. The day they make that DLC $1, it is the day I still don't buy it. It's also the reason I can't 100% that game. I'm not buying that DLC. I cannot be convinced. I have watched gameplay of that DLC and thought, wow, this does not look good. I've seen the writing of that DLC. It is not good. Like, Resident Evil 7's DLCs were a mixed bag. What's Jack's DLC called? End of Zoe. End of Zoe is heat. That's what Chris's section should have been. No Time for Heroes, or whatever Chris's DLC is called, I don't like it. Well, that's not entirely correct. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's that great. The concept isn't awful, but first of all, why does Chris look like that? Why does Chris look like that? He doesn't look like that in any other game. They fixed it in 8, but why does he look like that? Also, for me, like, the dude who plays Chris didn't really find his Chris voice yet during that game. In 8, he's way better in 8. 8, that's Chris. 7, it's kind of iffy on the voice. But of course, that's not his fault. That's on the people who lead the game, sound design, for them to go, hey, we kind of need you to change up a little bit. That's on them, not him. But I did not like that. Jack's whatever 51st birthday, or whatever it's called, isn't a bad game mode. It's their version of Mercenaries, basically. Except, not really. But I don't really enjoy it too much. It kind of just exists. The Clancy Chronicles, though? Dude. Clancy's, like, ones are so good. Blackjack is fun. Except when you're playing on the hardest difficulty, because that motherfucker cheats. He cheats. I had him dead. And then he plays 3 cancellation cards. What do you mean he has 3 cancellation cards? Bullshit. And then he removed my blackjack, and I died. That shit pissed me off. It still pisses me off. It was like, the escape room that he got to be in was also another fun experience. 2 sisters? Or is it 3 sisters? Whatever the Zoe DLC that you have to escape from the house is. Meh. It's whatever. Nothing that I really care for. I'm forgetting a DLC. Oh, Ethan Must Die. That is a hardcore experience. Like, you want a challenge? Play Ethan Must Die. Fun? It's been a while since I played the DLC, so I really can't say. I remember not hating it, but not loving it either. I've never gotten this one, actually. I wonder what this... I really like that, actually. I think that's all the DLCs at that point. I don't really think there's anything else. But 7's DLCs is a mixed bag, but they exist. Oh! I know what I'm forgetting. The wave survival. Yeah. Honestly, if a little bit of, like, if we had some map change-ups, I think it'd be better. But it's not awful. It's good. The concept is there. The execution isn't awful either. It's good. It's just... that map sucks. It's not all that good. If they made it a little bit better, I think it'd be phenomenal. I think it's a shame that they didn't give something like that to Resident Evil 4. The combat in that game would have worked so well with it. That's another small gripe I have with Resident Evil 9 is... Leon's combat isn't bad, by any means. But, compared to Resident Evil 4, it is slower. I'm not a fan of the axe, honestly. It's just kind of slow. I'm also not a fan of that hunk fight. Like, if we're gonna have a melee fight, we're gonna have a melee fight. Why is he bringing guns out? It's like, that sucks. The Graces section? Amazing. Actually amazing. I genuinely have not, like, been scared in a horror game in years. And they got me. They got me. I truly didn't expect it. I think the last horror game that had some fear in it for me was... I don't know if I want to count Dead Space 2 Impossible Mode. Because that's fear for a different reason. It's not fear... There's different kinds of horror. There's horror out of the... There's horror out of, like, what exists. There's horror out of knowledge. Soma is horror of knowledge. Knowing that you are not the original. You are not the original, like, player. You are a engram of yourself. You are just an iteration. You're not the original. And every other iteration is also not the original. When the goal of Soma is to transfer your conscience onto the, like, little satellite in space that they have everyone's consciousness on. It's like the garden. It's the Garden of Eden. And, like, the entire goal of the game is to get your consciousness uploaded to there. Here's the thing, the game tells you the entire time, when you transfer your consciousness, you don't get to go there. Your consciousness goes there. A copy of yourself goes there. So, what happens once you get to the end game and upload yourself there? You're trapped at the bottom of a trench in a facility that just went down. And that's where the game ends. That is horror of knowledge. And it's really good. However, someone was boring. there's like no puzzles. There's like 3 puzzles. And 2 of them are just color switch puzzles. You press this tile, these 2 tiles shrink. You press that tile, these tiles shrink. Align these 2 things. That's like all the puzzles. The story is amazing, but for me, it's just the experience that you get in Soma, you could have gotten by watching someone else play the game. And you would have gotten the same experience. Because for horror, it's like, yeah, the bottom of the ocean is terrifying. That is terrifying. But there's nothing down there. That's the issue. There's nothing in the ocean. Apart from one section when there's something in the ocean. And it's just almost non-existent most of the time. It's a good abstract horror game, but like gameplay-wise, it's whatever. Now, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, that's a game that has horror in monsters. It's pretty good. I definitely think it could have more puzzles, but the puzzles it does have is alright. Amnesia Bunker? That one was pretty good. But that game also kind of suffers from... It just... There's a lack of something. I think their peak really, for me, is Amnesia: The Dark. Because there is so much being done in such a, like, ambitious game. And then almost no other game of theirs tries to even do it. The Insanity system, the Darkness system, all of these systems were so well made. And then we stopped using them. A Machine for Pigs is another good one, but once again, I could have watched someone play that game and gotten the same experience that I did. Nothing would have changed. Justine was a fun mini-story. Because it's literally just an expansion to the Dark Descent. And I like Justine. Rebirth? I don't remember anything about Rebirth. I remember I stopped playing it at some point because I just wasn't enjoying it. Why I wasn't enjoying it? Don't remember. That's why it sucks that I wish they would just literally just rip the spine of Amnesia: The Dark Descent out, put it into another game that you're making. It will go crazy. And add some things to it. Boom! Just take the skeleton of it. That's all I ask. And then flesh it out with your own story, some new gameplay mechanics. You've got a great game. Now, one of the biggest horror things when it comes to games is not monsters, it's not the story, the visuals, it's losing progress. It's losing hours of gameplay because you died. That's where most of the, like, horror comes from. Like, Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation, you can only save at keycard readers. So, if you aren't at a keycard reader, or you haven't been to one in a while, and you die, you have to do everything you just did again. And that sucks. And that's where the horror comes from. Is dying and losing progress. Dead Space 2, Impossible difficulty, also does this. You get 3 saves. You die, you go back to your last save. So, you need to know the game and know where those saves have to go. To optimize, you need to know your struggle areas. For me, my first save is after the Ascension elevator. After that elevator sequence is done, I put a save. My second save is This one's kind of iffy, because sometimes this boss sequence is iffy. Sometimes I'll put it before the, oh my god, why can't I think of the people who are the marker? Why can't I think of the Marker Society? What is their name? Unitologist? I'm gonna look that up. Unitologist, right? Unitology. Okay, I'm right. When you meet up with the unitologist that was trying to, like, lure you in. That section where the gunship comes down, blasts the place open, and then you have to outrun the monster by moving the, stasis. The stasis bricks out of the way. You get flown out into the ship in space, and you have to shoot the barrels. That section can be really iffy, where you'll grab the box, try to move it, and it will refuse, and then you die. So I save before that sometimes, but I try to save after it, but I don't like taking the risk, so I just save before. And then my last save, which is another one that you can take a risk on if you're really confident, but you could also just ruin your run right then and there if you get punked. The excavator sequence. I clear that room out. Ellie's ready to leave. She's already on the excavator. I put a save down and then go do it. Now, the issue with this, if you die to the regenerator or the eye needle scene, something I have never died to until that moment, if you fail that, you gotta do the excavator again. And that eats time. It really does. I have never died to that eye sequence. Even when I first played the game, I didn't die to it. It's not hard. It's really not hard. First time actually completing impossible difficulty, I died to it. And it's crazy. Like, that never would have happened to me normally. But because I am so, like, oh, I don't want to go back to the last save, I make a mistake. I do need to play Dead Space 1's, impossible difficulty. I was holding off on it because the game has a crashing issue with lesser computers, and at that time my CPU was a 2600, just barely able to run that game. And using the force gun, or really any gun with like semi-decent flashy lights, like the line gun, yeah. Or even the Dragon Force. That's not what it's called. It's the contact beam. But using those weapons would crash my game. Now that I have a better computer, I have a better CPU, I have a better GPU, I should be able to run that. I need to play that. That's the only reason I stopped. Dead Space Remake is probably the greatest remake to ever be made. It does everything a remake should do. It rebuilds the game. Gives quality of life that its predecessors had that it didn't. It gives new story perspectives. It gives new places to go. It updates weapons. It does everything that Resident Evil 4 makes are not doing. Did I just say Resident Evil 4 makes? Resident Evil remakes are not doing. 4 did the most of it. You know, all of them rewrite their characters, which is good. They're starting to take their story more serious. And I'm glad about that. I really am. Because the game should still be a level of cheesy, Like, that's what they were built on. They were built on these corny dialogue, really just bad scripts that were read. What do they call that kind of voice acting? When it's just like really, it's like Silent Hill 2, like the original Silent Hill 2. What is that called? But it's like campy voice acting. Campy voice acting. It's like, that's what made those games. But I'm glad the characters are being rewritten to be more like, Leon is actually affected by Resident Evil 2. The events of Resident Evil 2 have shooken him up to a point that he just cannot handle it. Millions died. A city had to be nuked. All because of what? A virus. A virus made by an elite. And it just messed him up. I don't know if they're going for the original Resident Evil 2 canon where... That's the issue. A lot of the story is still kind of like... There's so many holes in it right now with the remake, like, timeline we're on. The original reason why Leon was a police officer is his parents were dead. The dude who adopted him and raised him was a police officer. So he became a police officer. It would make more sense. That's why he's so affected by, you know, the death of so many people, is he's already lost people in his life to something he couldn't do anything about. And now he has to do it again and watch even more people die like this. Which is, as of right now, Resident Evil 5 and 6 are not canon. Because they have not been remade. I also know they're not canon because there's no way they are going to put the Spencer "I was meant to be God" speech into Resident Evil 5 Remake after Resident Evil 9, Spencer being like, yeah, I felt bad, so I made this child who's gonna release Elpis, which cures all viral infections. It's like, how did we get from the dude who wanted to lead human evolution into its, like, next phase and be the ruler of it, to this guy who was like, yeah, I kind of feel bad, and I'm making up for it. It's like, get real. Let the man be a piece of shit. He should be a piece of shit. Because he is a piece of shit. Dude is responsible for every outbreak. Oh, not every outbreak. Okay, he's not responsible for the outbreaks themselves, but he is responsible for the people behind them. Resident Evil 0 is... Honestly, that's not too much of his fault. That the dude who made the leeches deflected because he got screwed over by Birkin. So he released the leeches in retaliation. Resident Evil 1 is his fault. Resident Evil 2 and 3 is his fault, but 2 and 3 are grouped together. Resident Evil 4 isn't entirely his fault. They were the elites of Resident Evil 4's village were doing that for a while. However, Umbrella did step in and help. So they do take some blame, and Spencer is one of the main founders of Umbrella. And he knows what Umbrella was gonna do. So he does have blame in all of them, but he doesn't have, like, complete responsibility in all of them. Resident Evil 5 is also kind of his fault, but at the same time, he hired Wesker. He should have known. The only reason he got killed off on his own. Resident Evil 6 is Simmons' fault, which is just Umbrella, but in a new coat. Resident Evil 7 is the mold virus, which does not have anything to do with Umbrella. Until you go to Resident Evil 8 and you find out that guess who was helping Mother Miranda further her mold research? Who else but Spencer? So, Resident Evil 7 is still his fault. Because another company came along and went, hey, that mold virus, we're going to try and make our own strain of it. We're going to steal it and try and cultivate it for ourselves. What do you mean everything's dying? So he still has blame in that. Resident Evil 9 is also super his fault. The entire reason that they are looking for Elpis is because of Spencer. Because they read Spencer's notes and were like, oh, this guy's got a super secret thing hidden away. Well, we gotta go get that. And yeah, he's completely to blame. Code Veronica isn't entire. Actually, no. Code Veronica is the one that I would say he has full clearance on. Because it's not his doing. It's, Alexei? Is that the twins' last name? Yes, I think. But it's their family, because, you know, Umbrella's, like, founders isn't just Spencer. It's multiple people. And the Alexei family is one of the branches. Code Veronica is entirely the Alexei family's problem. I need to finish the spin-offs of Resident Evil. I need to replay Revelations 1 and 2, despite not really wanting to, but I gotta. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. If I wasn't as bad as I remember, so why can't they be? Code Veronica would be better if... There's 3 ways I think Code Veronica could have been a lot better. They had waited and just redid the game in Resident Evil 3's, like, engine they made for it. Having the dodge mechanics would have been a lot better for a lot of those enemies. It kind of felt like they should have had dodge mechanics, honestly. I think it could have also benefited from, if they waited till Resident Evil 4 original came out, if they waited for that game to come out, and then built it similar to 4, it would have been a lot better. Or they had made it a Survivor game. And, yeah, because Survivor games are fun. Their like, control is really good, too. I love the Survivor games. And I need to play all of them. I also need to play Gaiden. Gaiden is unironically, like, interesting. I guess I do need to play Outbreak. There's Outbreak Files 1 and 2, isn't there? I don't even know how to play those ones, though. I need to play the on-rail shooters. The on-rail shooters are fun. Dark Chronicles is fun. There's a second one that I can't remember, and I don't remember that one being as good. But once again, it's been forever since I've touched it. It could be amazing. And, you know, it's just old memories that make it seem bad. What other Resident Evil games am I missing? I played 1 through 9, but 0 I haven't touched, because 0 is just whatever. Zero is Water Girl and Fire Boy if the game wasn't that good. The solo's co-op experience is not good. I think when they remake that game, there's two ways to go about it. One, they make it similar to Resident Evil 2/3 / any game that has two protagonists. Split their stories. Have me play as one during this time and have me play as another during another time. Have them overlap each other. Two, actually make it a co-op experience. Don't make me have to sit here and babysit two characters. Like, Zero can be good. They just need to make it good. Even Code Veronica. Code Veronica can be good. I like the story of Code Veronica. I like the characters of Code Veronica, besides Steve, but even then, he's just kind of... It's... During that time, the campy voice acting really shines in that game. Also, the gaslighting of Code Veronica fans trying to convince people that it's, like, a super important game to the overall, like, franchise. It's like, it shows the relationship development of Wesker and Chris. It's like, did you play the game? What are you talking about? What part did you pick that up from the game? It's like, the closest thing we have is literally the final scene where he goes, "Yeah, I'll get you again, Chris." And Chris goes, "Well, I'll be there waiting for you." And that's the reason why Chris goes from, you know, the fit, he's fit, ex-military guy, to the, he just took 5 pounds of steroids as a morning stimulant. And that's why he is so jacked ever since. Because he got his ass beat by Wesker in Code Veronica. He beat the fuck out of him. And that's why he got jacked. He couldn't fight him hand to hand. He was getting his ass handed to him. So he was like, I need to get so built that even his superpowers run into me again, I'm beating his ass. Guess what happens when he runs into his superpowers again? He gets his ass beat and immediately gets chucked out a window by Jill. Remember, Jill had to end that fight. But it's like, oh, it's a super important game to the series. It's like, I wouldn't say that. Does it deserve respect? I guess that's not the right word. Does it deserve to have the same chance that every other Resident Evil has? Absolutely. It should be given the chance to have another go. And I hope we see a Code Veronica remake at some point. Because I think Over the Shoulder will significantly help that game. The boss fights in that game suck because of the fixed cameras. The boss fights in that game sucked because of the aiming mechanics. The boss fights just suck in that game because it's just not good. It's not good. It really feels like if they had just put the dodge mechanic from Resident Evil 3 into Code Veronica, that game would be 30% better. Because the story's fine. And here's my fear of Code Veronica, and it's not a fear, it's just a fact. Code Veronica is not going to be remade correctly. The gameplay might be good, the story's going to tank. Because they're going to cut everything out. Every single part of Resident Evil Code Veronica is being rewritten. Because they are not keeping the fact that, the Alexi twins, that's not their name. What is their name? Why can I not remember it? No, it's the Ashfords. Okay. Why was I saying Alexi? It's Alexia Ashford and Alfred Ashford. But the Ashfords, they're supposed to be, like, you can't really tell, like, what their, like, relationship is. You know they're siblings, but the game kind of alludes towards that they might not just be siblings, and they might be having some other activities on top of it. Because they're psychopaths. That's the entire point. They are insane. They are supposed to be like these irredeemable monsters. And they are. And they're not going to be in the new game. They're not going to be. They're going to retcon that, and they're just going to be eccentric rich kids. Rather than the, I can't tell if this is supposed to be an incestual relationship, or if these are just two psychopaths, or both. And they're going to remove that. And it's like, that, it enhances the story. It really does. Because it shows you how insane these people are. It shows you why Alfred gets driven mad and starts cross-dressing as his sister. Without it, it just kind of seems like a whatever thing. It's supposed to show you that the Ashford's royal bloodline, maybe the royal bloodline is a little too pure, you know? And it's not going to be there. They're going to remove it. I also have this feeling that they're not going to kill Steve off. I don't know why. But I feel like they're just going to let Steve live. And I don't think that's the correct choice. Like, unless they are going to bring Steve up in, like, the next game, I think Steve should still die. Because once again, it also, you know, reinforces that, you know, you can't just transform and then transform back and be fine. That's not how this works. I also wonder if Steve will be turned into an actual boss, or if it's still just going to be a runaway sequence. But I think Code Veronica, like, it deserves a chance. It does. It's just in the current state that the game is in, it's just not all there. The map is massive for honestly no good reason. And it's so open and yet it's so linear. Ooh, that's actually really good. Oh, but reactive armor is also something I need. I'll take reactive armor. I hope Code Veronica gets everything it deserves and more. Because I think that game has such good potential, and it just wasn't allowed to have it when it first came out. I'd also love if they would take the Gun Survivor games that they made for Resident Evil, pack them all into one game, and just, like, put them out. Because, honestly, they could turn it... The game is, like, very VR coded. They could sell it as a VR game. And have it just like, back when it first came out, where you can either play it in VR, depending on the console, maybe motion controls, or you can just play on a standard controller, which is really fun on a standard controller. I'm sure it'd be a lot more fun on a gun con, though. I'm not buying a gun con. Yeah, I can't. No. No, it's not worth. Oh, I just... Damn it. Can't believe I did that. I wanted fragmentation on this thing, and I did that. I don't really think there's any other... Besides, like, the gacha mobile games they put out to Japan and Korea 24/7, I don't really think there's any other... Oh, no. Resident Evil... What is the Resident Evil multiplayer game that got removed off Steam? That one, you kind of can't play. Is it Escape from Raccoon City? No, that doesn't sound right. Umbrella Chronicles? It might be Umbrella Chronicles. Also, RE-verse, I think, could have been something. It is RE-verse, right? Not the other multiplayer game that they tried and failed with. Okay, no. Reverse was always gonna fail. Absolutely. However, Resident Evil Resistance, I think, had a chance if they didn't use the combat system from Resident Evil 2. If they had waited and made that with Resident Evil 4's combat system and didn't have a bad netcode, that game would be really fun. But they didn't. They just pumped it out at 2, and they shouldn't have. Because 2 is still, like, trying to replicate, the original 2's, like, combat style. Bullets aren't the most reactive thing in the world. And I think they just didn't account for that. Like, I really think if they gave it another shot, switched over to Resident Evil 4 Remake's combat system for a Resistance game, it would be phenomenal. People would actually play it. Because it's also not a bad concept. There's also a lot better monster variety that they could give. I also think the issue is they limited themselves to Resident Evil 2. You shouldn't have done that. They should have brought... They should make it to where just everything from as much as they want to put in from Resident Evil is in there. Can I get, like, something good? Like, it shouldn't just be Resident Evil 2 content. It shouldn't be just Resident Evil 4 content if they were to do that. It should be the hunters from Resident Evil 2, the lickers from Resident Evil 2. I want to see the fat molded from Resident Evil 7. I want to see the Ganados from Resident Evil 4. I want to see Crimson Heads from Resident Evil 1. Like, I want to see the 6-foot-tall giants from... 6-foot-tall is a little undercutting. 8-foot-tall giants from Resident Evil 5. I want to see the gun-wielding, whatever they call them, in Resident Evil 6. It's like, I want to see a variety of enemies from across the games, not just one little blip in Resident Evil's history. How are you going to make a game that's multiplayer for Resident Evil and not do that? I hope someone... Like, I hope when I try to do Revelations 1... I hope it's not as bad as I think it is. Because I don't like playing bad Resident Evil games. I like Resident Evil. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and lick the boots of Capcom because I want more Resident Evil. It's like, no. If calling out and talking about the flaws of Resident Evil makes Capcom stop making Resident Evil games, I'd much rather that than them keep making Resident Evil games and not be able to talk about their flaws. If you don't talk about the flaws of games, you just get corporations just stepping down on you. It's like they need to know, hey, you fucked up with this. You know that, right? Can you stop fucking up? So it doesn't force them to improve. If everyone says, oh, this is 10 out of 10, there's nothing wrong with it, how are they ever going to improve? Why would they improve? You already told them it was great. What's it going to take? Them to keep releasing the same slop until everyone goes, yeah, no. We let it slide the first 5 times, but you need to get your shit together. But it's like, the issue with criticizing any game is either everyone agrees with you, there's nothing good about the game, and they agree with everything you say, or no one cares about the flaws and just don't care what you say. It's either or. It's like, a game can be good and have flaws. Every game. Just about every game. There's some perfect games. But that perfect game is perfect for you, not the other guy. Except for Jak and Daxter. That is the perfect game. And Spyro Run Through 3. Those are the perfect games. I forgot I'm the character who needs to take damage. I didn't want to re-roll that. Oh, I almost built one of all the big gems. That would have been cool. Taking a good bit of damage. And there we go. Oh, or an S-ring. Well, I was hoping I'd get all the achievements here now, but I guess that just means on my own time I'll have that to do. Alright. Well, that's gonna be for me.